middleweight king is back, and he's not pulling any punches, verbally or otherwise. In true still knocks fashion, Dricus du Plessis just lit a verbal fire under the UFC world by revealing who's next on his hit list. And it's none other than the undefeated juggernaut, Khamzat Chimaev. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your guacamole because the reigning UFC middleweight champ, Dricus du Plessis, is back in business. And this time, he's gunning for none other than the boogeyman of the division, Khamzat Chimaev. Yep, you heard that right. In a recent sit-down on the Dricus du Plessis show, yes, the man has his own show, talk about multitasking, Dricus spilled the beans like a waiter on roller skates. According to the South African powerhouse, the verbal contracts have already been tossed across the table like poker chips, and he and Khamzat have unofficially agreed to throw down. We've got a date, Dricus revealed. Well, 2 dates actually, and I'm down for both, huh? Just tell me when and where. I'll be there with my gloves on and my game face ready. It's like trying to pick between 2 epic flavors of chips. Either way, you're winning. For fans, this is the equivalent of UFC Christmas coming early. Du Plessis promises the cage clash will happen before September, and he's basically daring the UFC to put ink to paper. Now, you might have seen whispers online that Du Plessis was nursing an injury and would be MIA for the rest of 2025. Yeah, no. Dricus laughed that off harder than Dana White at a press conference question about fighter pay. People were talking like I'd broken my legs, arms, and spirit, he joked. I let it ride for a week just to see how deep the rabbit hole would go. But come on, I've been ready. I've been ready. In fact, Du Plessis says he agreed to any date the UFC threw at him. Cinco de Mayo? Cool. Halloween? Let's make it spooky. Thanksgiving? He'll bring the stuffing. By that, we mean stuffing Chimaev into the mat. Now let's address the Chechen elephant in the room, Khamzat Chimaev, the wolf. The scary dude with a beard and a wrestling resume that makes Olympians sweat. Du Plessis isn't fazed. His wrestling is world-class, Dricus admitted. Absolutely phenomenal. But then again, Adesanya's striking is world-class too, and I handled that. Sean Strickland's boxing, world-class. Also handled. This is MMA, baby, not a one-trick pony show. Translation. You can be the king of takedowns or the lord of left hooks, but when it comes to a complete fight, Dricus plays chess while others are shadowboxing. He put it even better. You're only as good as your opponent allows you to be, and I won't let you look good. I can let you look good, but I can't let you win. That's just not how this works. That kind of confidence doesn't come from nowhere. Since stepping foot in the UFC, Dricus has racked up a spotless 9-0 record, like an overachiever collecting gold stars. And he's not just coasting on decisions either. 6 of those wins were finishes, including a highlight reel knockout of Robert Whittaker and a slick submission of Adesanya that had fans and pundits alike doing double takes. Sure, some critics think his fighting style looks like it was invented during a Red Bull-fueled fever dream, but hey, when you're undefeated, who cares if it's unorthodox? Results talk, critics walk. Now back to Chimaev. If this fight does happen, it'll be a monumental test, not just for Dricus, but for Chimaev too. Let's not forget, Chimaev has fought only 4 times in the last 3 years. The man has been more elusive than a clean judge's scorecard. Will he actually make it to fight night? That's a valid question, and Dricus is well aware of it. I'm not stressing about it, Du Plessis said. If Khamzat pulls out last minute, cool. The UFC will find someone. There are plenty of contenders hungry for a shot, and I'll be ready for whoever walks into that cage. That's the mindset of a champion. While others are playing checkers, Du Plessis is preparing for interdimensional MMA chess. He doesn't train for names. He trains to be the best version of himself. Whether it's Chimaev, a last-minute fill-in, or the ghost of Anderson Silva, Dricus is down to rumble. And honestly, that's what makes this guy so entertaining. He's part warrior, part troll, part philosopher, and part chaos engine. You never quite know what he's going to say or how he's going to win, but you know you'll want to watch. One thing's for sure, Du Plessis isn't ducking anyone. He's not waiting for the perfect matchup or cherry-picking fights like it's Tinder for title defenses. He's walking into every challenge like a guy who knows his fists write better headlines than any tweet ever could. So, UFC fans, start clearing your calendars. Whether it's August, September, or whatever date Dana White finally greenlights, Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev is the kind of middleweight mayhem we've all been craving. Grappler versus grinder, wrestler versus wild man, calm versus chaos. And in the middle of that storm, a South African champion with a chip on his shoulder and zero fear in his eyes. Khamzat Chimaev, never one to use his indoor voice, recently cranked the intensity up to 11 during a chat with sports journalist Adam Zubairov. When asked about Dricus du Plessis possibly preparing for a gritty, grappling heavy war in the octagon, Chimaev didn't hesitate. "Let them prep for war, I'm prepping for murder," Chimaev declared, casually like he was ordering a coffee, not forecasting a potential felony. Naturally, this quote exploded online faster than Chimaev's takedown of Kevin Holland. And it didn't take long for du Plessis, our reigning middleweight champ and low-key king of witty Instagram replies, to catch wind of it. His response? Pure gold. "Wow, that's the first time I've heard that one. Shakespeare in the house," du Plessis posted, presumably while sipping tea and polishing his championship belt. If this trash talk feels familiar, it's because du Plessis has heard it all before, especially from Sean Strickland, who chirped similar doomsday warnings before both of their title bouts. Spoiler alert, du Plessis walked away with the belt twice. As for Chimaev, he's hoping to turn his highlight reel into championship gold. His undefeated UFC streak includes scalps like Kamaru Usman, Kevin Holland, and Gilbert Burns. There's no denying the guy can scrap. He just really enjoys sounding like the villain in an action movie while doing it. One thing's clear, this war of words is heating up faster than a Conor McGregor press conference. Murder or poetry, war or belt defense, these two are on a collision course, and we're all here for the fireworks. With the UFC's middleweight division on the verge of combustion, du Plessis versus Chimaev is shaping up to be one of the wildest matchups of the year, if not the decade. Will Dricus shut down another hype train, or will Khamzat finally claim UFC gold with his signature smash? Whatever happens, one thing's for sure, the cage isn't big enough for both of their egos.